and I'm going to be going through. Uh, let's start with the MLB slate, I guess. Um, we're going to do MLB. We're going to talk about the projections, talk about the sheets, talk about and we'll do lineup builds. And then if I have time, we'll talk about some NBA. It's a total shit show. I mean, but you can play the two studs. You could play Luka and Jokic really easily with all that Chicago value that opened up. We'll if I have time, we'll get into that. So I do have to kind of run at 6:30, so at the latest. So we're gonna just go straight into it and talk about the MLB. You could try to put some questions in. I'm gonna do the best that I can. So what we'll do is, in deference to you guys, I will share my screen and we'll just go through. First, we'll take a look at the sheets. This is exactly what I do when I don't have too much time. So let's take a look at the sheets first, and you'll see we're looking at DraftKings first. And it looks like from a pitching perspective, Gausman is standing out as the top play, followed by an interesting choice between Freddie Peralta and Jake Irvin, two completely different ways to go, right? What's interesting to me is that Jake Irvin is still like half the ownership of Freddie Peralta. So if you do choose to go that way, you'll get a different build and just raw ownership discounts as well on the pitcher. The two pitchers, again, which I just feel as though are misprojected, are Reed Detmers and the other guy from that game, who is, now I forget who it is, Tanner Houck. I mean, this projection seems kind of ridiculous, as does this projection on Yamamoto. It moved up a little bit, but I don't exactly quite get it. Ownership at only 7%. I'm probably going to end up just forcing my way in. And the rest is kind of is what it is. When we look at the stacks, I have to say that my thoughts haven't changed too much. Good question, MJ Vandy. When we rate these by just raw points, you are going to see Atlanta and Cincinnati kind of stand out. And because of price, you're going to get lower ownership on Atlanta. So what you want to do, I think, is if you want to play Atlanta, you're either going to not play Gausman, or at the very most, you'll play Gausman with Jake Irvin. If you play Cincinnati, you have a lot more room, and you're going to get a lot more ownership. Some interesting pivots, it looks like, are Texas. The Dodgers looks like a good pivot. Maybe even Arizona, but Texas and the Dodgers look pretty good. And then when you sort them by modified, once again, you get Cincinnati. Then you get this Oakland bit of business against Jake Irvin. But this team and Washington as well. But this team that continues to intrigue me is the metrics on the White Sox. I mean, they rate to be a pretty good stack. They rate to be really low owned because, these are not like the best well-known players, right? Lennon Sosa, Pilar, Grossman, Andrew Vaughn, he can get some stuff done, Benintendi, and the wind is favorable to us. So this is another one that I might artificially increase in my exposure. So if you ask me like who I quote unquote like, right? When you listen, the sheets are going to give you Cincinnati, Braves, Texas, Houston, Dodgers. All of these are fine. And with value, you'll get some Oakland and Washington. But I would include the White Sox into that mix. And as far as pitching goes, if you wanted to, again, just add a little something to what the projections are giving you, Detmers / Houck, and then I would also upgrade the Yamamoto. So why don't we go ahead? Well, before we do that, let's look at FanDuel first, and then we'll do builds of both of them. So FanDuel, it looks like a little more clear cut to put Gausman up on the top here. And yes, he's highest owned, but he's got a significant projection edge over everybody else. And when it comes to hitting on FanDuel, same type of thing. Atlanta, the top, and they're actually, again, lower owned because it's harder to get to. Houston, Dodgers, Texas, same teams. And once again, these White Sox are just kind of continuing to show up. So whatever ends up happening in my build, I'm going to force in some White Sox, some Yamamoto, some Detmers, and some Houck. And that's just going to be what I do today. And it's not something I usually do. I'm just force stuff in, but let's just say I'm just kind of in the mood. So let's pull up SaberSim and let's build some stuff. I don't know what this is, but so let's just start over. We'll go all slates, MLB, and then upload the projections. And there were some lineup changes in the Astros, which is why I had to redo all these. So let's we're just going to force in these guys after the fact. We're not going to up the projections. So we're going to be a little lazy as far as that goes, but we'll do it anyway. So we'll build 5,000 lineups, and it's cool in baseball. It doesn't take all that long. You know, we could probably save some time and do the same thing with the MLB as this is going. Yeah, let's do that, actually. This way we could definitely save some time. So as the DraftKings lineups are building, we're going to build FanDuel as well. And we're going to start again with just the default settings here. And then we'll back into what we need. All right, so that's running. We'll get back to the NBA in a minute. FanDuel NBA, we're not playing, so we'll X that out. FanDuel Hockey, we're not playing, we'll X that out. We'll look at the Truck Series in a second. All right, so MLB, let's see what we get by straight, just default. So we will do DraftKings first. And then we're just going to have to, again, force in that stuff that I said if I don't get them. All right, so first of all, what I get just kind of normally, well, a couple of White Sox here, but they're like two-man. So before I even do anything, we do have the regular distribution here. 5-3, 5-2s, and 0s. And stacks. Oh, there you go. So 26% White Sox. I like it. Now, does that mean that we should avoid running the contest sims? No, I still want to run the contest sims here. What I'm getting all the reds, so we're going to have to, do something about that. As far as pitching goes, we're getting like every bit of Gausman, and then Peralta of only very little bit of Irving, and literally zero of the Yamamoto. So let's first go to Yamamoto, and let's give him, let's give him 30% ownership. I think this is just a ridiculous projection. Apply. It's going to even let me. Yeah, there you go. 30% Yamamoto. Let's also go into team stacks. We'll put in the White Sox. We're going to go minimum of 30% White Sox stacks in general. Good. Then we're going to also go into those other pitchers I mentioned who were Houck and Detmers. And again, it's a little bit fishy because of the weather over there, but I kind of don't care. So we'll go Detmers, we'll go minimum 30, and then we'll go Houck. Where is Houck? Houck minimum 30, and we'll hit apply here. Good. So all this is set, and now we'll run our contest sims, and we'll see what we get. Let's unfilter this. This way we get to see everybody. Okay. I guess Yamamoto got smoked by the Padres last time they played. That's why he's whatever. But I did reach out to Bobby. I asked if he liked him. Now, he might be biased as he's going to the game tonight, so you can factor that in. But he says he likes him also. So I don't know. We shall see. Okay, so Sims are done. Let's take a look at the big buy-in first. Let's see what it wants to give me in the big buy-in. Give me Washington's and the Braves with Peralta and Jake Irvin with no Gausman. Actually, I don't mind that. That's actually pretty interesting. So you get to play Braves. Now it ain't no bargain playing Peralta at Baltimore. But I think this is actually okay. Now we have to watch this Kelbert Ruiz lineup situation. We have to remember to do this. But we'll save this one for now. And then let's take a look at the relay throw and see what we get here after all of this. All right, so we'd be getting, first of all, let's do the stack exposure. We don't want any 4-2-2s. We don't want any 4-4s or 4-3s. I mean, I'm supposed to not even check to see who we have because we've done this process, but just so we do see who we have. Just want to make sure I'm getting those pitchers I wanted. Yep, Detmers, Yamamoto, Hauk, whole bunch of that, plus Gausman, and team stacks, White Sox highest owned, then Washington. I like all of this. I think this is great. Do I even need to do min uniques more than 2? Nope. I think this is just fine. I think this is going to be very different. Let's look at stack exposures. Again, 5 zeros. I'll play 5 zeros on a big enough slate. So I think this is actually kind of cool. So I do have to go back and fix my big buy-in for who I want, but I think this is a pretty interesting combination of using my sheets, using SaberSim, not being completely reliant on one over the other. Ooh, what is this? Why do I have all these lineups here? Hold on a minute. Hang on. What did I just do here? 51. Okay, good. Great. So let me just again. There was a look kind of weird, so I just want to make sure that I got what I just did in there. Let's see. Let's look at the MLB. Yep, there's Yamamoto. Now there's Kelbert Ruiz. What is he here? He's day to day. Am I going to forget this? He's unavailable due to illness. 2 days in a row. Off day Thursday. He should be ready for this game, right? I'm going to have to look at this. Ugh. I'm going to have to remember to check to see if Kelbert Ruiz is in. Is that what actually is going to happen? I mean, I could X him out. What would that look like? Just for the hell of it. I mean, is Kelbert Ruiz really the key to my night? Probably not. So what if I did this? What if I went into players, went into Kelbert Ruiz and X'd him out? Then what would happen? I mean, is that really the end of the world? I mean, not really, right? Same exposure, same pretty much everything. We're just going to X out, just so again, this is like real life adjustments because I know I'm not going to be around to double check this, and I am going to forget. I promise you, I'm going to forget this. And here's this Braves thing here again. Got to be able to do better than this. Ooh, the Kansas City one. That one I kind of like. That was the one I kind of liked. So let's put this one in the garbage. Peralta, Irving. Yeah, I did like the Kansas City thing against Severino. All right, so let's fix that. Okay, let's do FanDuel now. FanDuel. We already did the lineups, right? We were doing that while we were waiting. And what do we get? Just regular. We get well, stack exposure looks okay. We don't even know who we have yet, so let's get rid of these. Just want 4 4s and 4 3s on FanDuel. And we would have Cincinnati, Texas, St. Louis. This is without running any sims or anything like that. And I'm not going to up those teams. Or yes, I actually am. I'm going to do the same thing. So let's do the same thing we did before. Let's go players. Pitchers. Let's go to Yamamoto again. We'll up him to, minimum 30%. Actually, since it's only one pitcher slate, we'll go minimum 20%. We'll go back to Houck. We'll go back to Houck. We'll do a minimum of maybe 15% of Houck. And then we'll go to Detmers. We'll do minimum of 15% of Detmers. And then we'll go into stacks. Oh, we forgot to. Crap. Players. We'll unsearch for Detmers. We'll go back into stacks. Go back into White Sox. We'll do a minimum of 30% White Sox. Boom. Apply. And then we will rerun this with the contest sims. And then we're going to rock. So meanwhile, this Washington, they know who's starting now. So how come we know who's starting there, but we didn't know who was starting over here? I mean, this is ridiculous. So the DraftKings doesn't have an actual starting lineup, but SaberSim does? We're going to take a look at this in a second. Let's see if we can't find Nationals lineup. Starting lineup, stay national lineup. April 12th. Not yet, Riley Adams, it looks like. Okay. There it is. No Kelbert Ruiz. All right, so we ran the contest sims, and then first let's take a look and see who we get in the monster first. Let me take a quick look. See. Peralta, Braves, White Sox. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly what we want. Boom. Then we'll go into the squeeze. And what are we getting? Yeah, more White Sox. We like. And let's make sure stack exposure is still clean. Yep, except for this 3-3-2. So we will X this bad boy or little boy out of it. Boom. Squeeze. Done. 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 And now we will change this here. And excellent. Okay. And the one thing that you saw that I did or I didn't do, I didn't even care who I had. It's Colorado is actually the top owned team on FanDuel. Max leverage against Gausman. Why not? That's just in the relay throw, not in the big buy. Okay, so that's baseball. Let's take a look. You can feel free to fire off any questions that you want. Let's see if the Truck Series is out yet. Okay, so we have a little bit of Truck Series stuff. So this is, I'm just, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to have time to do a full set of sheets. I would love to, just to prove I could do it before I leave in 15 minutes. But it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to refer everybody to the whatchamacallit. There's going to be a 7:05 live stream where Brandon's going to be going over, his how to approach the slate. I don't think I'm going to have my own projections up by then. I might, but they're going to be, I mean, it's got to be in the next like 15 minutes, and it's going to be extremely thin. Okay, let's just put it that way. I mean, it's going to be an extremely thin estimate. I have to run like a couple of different things, and I don't even know if I'm going to have enough time to do it. So I do apologize. But for those of you, I don't even want to give my takes because Brandon's going to do a great job with it. But he'll tell you about this. There are two like really strong place differential plays that are going to be really, really chalky that you're going to have to make decisions on. So I will give you like a really an unofficial set of sheets. I want to do at least something for you guys. So let me just do this real quick. So if I run this here and run that and run that, hang on. I'll tell you this, if I win playing like this, I really am the best. We'll just see what happens. See how this goes. I mean, I can't even run my set. This is how atrocious this is. Well, this is weird. Let's look at some of the Saberson projections. So Ankrum and who's the other guy? And Tanner Gray were supposedly the two big plays. And boy, Corey Hyman in the 14 hole, that looks pretty. I don't know much about much, but that seems pretty. That seems pretty reasonable. See, I don't even have ownership projections. I mean, this is a shit show. So unfortunately, I resign. But I am going to play anyway, and I will show you what I'm doing. This is my incredibly, I mean, just ridiculously awful estimate for the numbers I think I should be using here. And we'll run the 50, but I'll just tell you the guys that I'm going to have the most of. So I'm going to, again, this is just kind of my thing. There's a couple of guys that I just kind of play every week. Just kind of the younger guys or whatever, guys that always seem to have upside in my head. And again, it gets me a little bit different also. So, and the guys I'm going to have like too much of every week are going to be Timmy Hill. It's the same guys every week too. Brett Holmes, Jake Garcia, and the other Gray, the Taylor Gray. And the Sanchez. Well, and Sanchez, I mean, I'll probably get enough of him already because he's got the pole. And it wasn't Caruth, it was the Taylor Gray. So this is just gets me naturally different. The rest of the guys I get anyway. And I always like to have, for whatever reason, some of Christian Eckes when he's near the front because he always seems to lead laps. So that's my hopeless attempt to make heads or tails of this. Dakota, don't listen to me here. Cruz is not going to be here. Cruz is here at 7. He's doing his own thing, like with experts and all that stuff. I just happen to be doing this right now, so I'm just doing it. Cruz is going to be here like 7 o'clock. And I did not do the MMA lineup build. I mean, I did one, but I'm going to go through that process tomorrow. It'll be early tomorrow morning, but it will be definitely taken care of. I don't know why I'm building 5,000 lives. I don't even think there are 5,000 combinations. I guess one thing I'm also going to do is do geomean filtering, but I can't even do that because look, I can't even get the ownership to work. Well, yeah, great, All-Star. I mean, but if we do that, then what? I mean, if we get Wiley and Holloway, I mean, we're going to have to just be like all kinds of craziness. We're going to have to play all of the Mariano Rodriguez, the Bobby Green, the Holly Holm. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have to do all kinds of funny business, or leave just a ton of money on the table, and which you can do. I have a question for you, All Star, and this is actually a question I have to deal with. Is are you setting a rule to not stack fighters in the same fight on this particular card, or are you going to let yourself get to, for example, the Gaethje Holloway fight as a stack in GPPs? It's a very legitimate question on on this weekend's card. I mean that fight can put up like 200 points. So that is a question that you have to ask yourself before you do any building, is whether you're going to allow that or not. I really don't know the answer. And we're building way too many of these NASCAR lineups here. And so NBA real quick. Yeah, you like this Yan Wei Li thing? I don't know. I just think that. Listen, you saw what I did in my betting breakdown. I bet Yan just for the hell of it. I think Wei Li just freaking smokes her. And then again, I guess what I think doesn't matter. But I don't know. I mean, I know what I saw, and Wei Li's like not even human. I mean, like I don't see how Yan keeps that one close. But whatever. What do I know? So with the NBA, by the way, tonight it's you get all kinds of just ridiculous all kinds of ridiculous value, and I'll share what I have with you right now. And I really don't even know who's starting yet. I'm only going to play one lineup here, but like you see that when points per dollar, you have like 10x guys. You have literally guys I've never heard of on Chicago that are all like 3K and $1 million. And they're all going to be 1,000,000% owned or whatever it is. Then you have Noah Clowney. I mean, like, and then you have Jokic, who's basically they need to secure the 1 seed. So I guess he's kind of a lock, right? And even like Luka, I mean, you could play both these guys so easily. I don't know what I actually am going to do, but I'm only going to play one lineup there. And if you do set it to stacking the fights, are you going to get others? Like, are you going to get some weird? I guess not. I don't know. Yeah, I get that, All-Star. I get that too. Sure. You know what I mean? Like, sure. Do you think Jan and her loss outscores like Hill, Pereira, Gaethje, Holloway, and their loss though? I guess, like you said, I mean, it's 7K is different than 7,400 or 7,800 or whatever. So, yeah, fair enough. 6:28 p.m. So that's all I'm doing now is why are people stacking the White Sox? Because they're idiots listening to me. I guess I don't know why I'm stacking the White Sox. Yeah, I get it. But listen, there's going to be some amount of underdogs that win. I don't know exactly which ones they're going to be. Hopefully, it's guys like Moicano, and if Moicano wins, that's going to be the nuts, right? I mean, like, I imagine you're playing Moicano. I mean, I imagine anybody that plays DFS and plays MME is going to be playing Moicano, right? I mean, Turner looks like such a great play, and Moicano looks like a pretty good play also. I mean, I have to imagine. I mean, I'm gonna play way too much of him. I'm pretty sure. So my night will be over pretty quick, maybe. And then Moicano plays like elite. I think that. I mean, obviously Oliveira. But I think at the end of the day, maybe Oliveira isn't as popular as we think he's going to do. As we think he's going to be. Yeah, it's exactly what I just said. All-Star. I don't know. I don't know. One thing I do know is that if he wins, he's going to score something. You know what I mean? Like that I promise you. Why am I building 5,000 freaking lineups just to? All right, there it is. Okay, so here are my lineups, and let's run a sim, which is ridiculous here, but we're going to do it anyway. Save these. And this we're going to use, I mean, we have to use build one because we have no idea what the actual ownership is because we don't even have a good ownership projection. So we're going to just build this way. And one thing I do promise you is that I have no idea who's going to win the main event. I actually don't know who's going to win either of those two male 5-round fights. I think they're both going to be great. That's all I can tell you. If Chanel wins, is she optimal nearly 100% of the time? Well, no, I don't think so. Nearly 100? Yeah, maybe, but not 100. And she's going to win 20% of the time, right? That's what the odds say. So, sure. All right, so let's just make sure that I'm getting a good amount of all these guys I said I was going to get. Sanchez, Taylor, Gray, Eckes, Garcia. Okay, great. So what about geo-mean filtering over here? And that's the last thing I'm going to do because I have to leave very soon. So 7,058. Let's do that. 7,058. I don't think Zhao's going to be. I mean, Zhao's going to be low owned, but I don't think she's going to be no owned. All right, so this. So 22.8. So let's say 20. No, we don't have to be that fancy. We'll go 22. So we'll go this, add filter, geo-mean less than 22. Boom. And that's going to be good enough for this tournament. And then we'll take the filter off for the spotter. And I don't know if I'm going to have 100% of the Ankrum, that Ankrum / Tanner Gray thing. I probably don't even want to look. But okay, I listen, this was more like, I don't know if anybody learned anything during this, but it was just watching me just do my thing. And I apologize for that. But that's really all the time that I have. And I got to run. So I will do that. Love Harrison. But I don't think she's going to be that low owned either. I think she's going to be like the pivot that people play. But we'll see. We'll do, ownership will come out. We'll do more ownership stuff tomorrow. And that's it.